everybody. It's another episode of Practical AI where we try to address AI questions that are relevant across a broad range of technical background. Peter represents much more technical depth than I do, and I represent less technical depth. And so we'll try to hit topics on a weekly basis here that people are thinking about or talking about in the AI space. Be sure to subscribe. We'd like to provide as much information to as many people as possible, and we'll also include really important and relevant links that we talk about in this episode. We'll include those in the discussion comments part of the YouTube video. And let's hop in. Peter, we have a really fascinating thing that came out this week. It was a Stanford study that was addressing a question that a lot of people had already been on, and that is ChatGPT getting dumber? Tell us kind of what's happening in this space right now, and is ChatGPT actually, getting Alzheimer's?
So that's a good question. The short answer is ChatGPT is just a language model, so it doesn't really actually have Alzheimer's, but to a human being it looks like it does, because early on when version 3 came out, it could do a lot of different things. Like you could ask it questions and it would just respond. But as OpenAI clamped down on certain things and prevented it from answering questions like, hey, how do I build a bomb? People thought, okay, well, I don't like that. So people started to jailbreak ChatGPT. And as more people found new ways of jailbreaking their service, they clamped down more on filtering. And so they kept refining. So there's multiple models working behind what you see on the web page. And so they just kept refining and training it to clamp down more and more and more. And so as a result, Stanford did a study to compare how did it perform earlier this year to now. And what they found was when they tested on a set of tests that they created, one of them was they asked ChatGPT, can you calculate prime? And so back in February or so, it could do it, but now it doesn't. And so part of that is, well, okay, can it still do it? Yes, it probably still can. But the reason why it currently doesn't is that they've locked down the chat functionality so that it fits more closely with what they want for alignment. And as a result, it's getting worse results.
Okay, so here's the study, the Stanford study. There's a pretty good abstract that you can read that explains what's happening. And it seems like, it was having trouble with math in particular. Is there something about math? I mean, right here it says ChatGPT 4 followed the chain of thought instructions to obtain the right answer in March, but ignored it in June with the wrong answer. And, there's another article that I'll pull up that talks specifically about your prime case. So what is it about the math that's caused the problem?
It's not so much that it can't do math anymore. It's just that the filtering has locked it down. And the thing is that as they refine the model to align to what they think is acceptable or what they define as acceptable to OpenAI, it's had a side effect of it locking down other stuff that they don't want to lock down.
Okay.
And so this goes back to, we don't really know what all those weights are doing. And today, OpenAI just has humans going through creating data sets and having feedback and telling it yes, no, yes, no. But the thing is they don't actually know when they refine the model, it's making changes. But they don't really know what all those changes do, and they don't know what the side effects are. So they might work fine for the set of data that they've trained it for this week, but they can't test all possible permutations to know what negative side effects you could have.
So, excuse me. So is this we did an episode a couple weeks ago on alignment. And are you saying that in their efforts to do alignment,
Yep.
uh, that they have indiscriminately pulled pieces of the Jenga out and their tower is kind of collapsing a little bit? Is that
Right. So it's not on purpose. It's just a side effect.
it's a side effect of essentially it's funny, there's like cultural references to this that we won't get into, but essentially they're censoring
Yeah.
their app,
Yes.
and that censorship, that trying to do alignment, is resulting in right now a negative outcome.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And so that's one of the kind of unsolved areas of machine learning is like we know the basic mechanism for how models trains, but when we dive down into the guts, when you open the black box up, we don't actually know what all these little weights are doing in the model. And as a result, when we create a new data set, we say, okay, let's narrow what we think is acceptable and let's retrain it. You can't calculate what the side effects are.
Yeah.
And so then you just repeat. So then you go, okay, well, wait a minute. Maybe that previous training, that data set was too narrow. So now we have to then go back, look at that, do experiments to figure out like, okay, how can we tweak that data set so that it limits what we don't want, but doesn't nerf the stuff that we do want. So like in gaming, it's common for the game company to nerf certain characters, certain features if it's too overpowered. And so
Give us the definition of nerf, just so we know.
so nerf in gaming means like if let's say you have a gun that's super powerful, and then the game developers realize, oh wait a minute, like that game just kills
Oh,
every bad monster within one shot. It's like you don't want that because that's not.
basically, you got to turn that gun into a Nerf gun, so it's not.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Let
Yep.
me pop over to this is an article I actually pulled up first accidentally. But this was happening before the Stanford study popped, which happened this week, and that was people are talking about the decline in engagement with ChatGPT, which could be due to things like students not being in school and whatnot. But it might be deeper than that, and it might relate to our topic. And here we have a Reddit user saying that they're disappointed that the A model can no longer perform spreadsheet calculations despite being able to do so in the past. Instead, it's now guiding people how to use Excel.
Yeah. Yep.
So is this connected?
So this is part of it, right? Is since Microsoft is going to incorporate machine learning models, so language models, into the entire Office suite, they don't want OpenAI to have ChatGPT give you the answer. They much rather have you go to Office 365 and use the built-in feature in Excel. Right. So in the process of nerfing their model to drive traffic to Microsoft, ChatGPT now becomes less useful.
Wow. I mean, again, I really encourage people to go watch our video on alignment, because we talk about the spirit of alignment, the purpose of it, and where it's kind of evolved towards. But this sounds like humans really overthinking a lot of this and really stripping the benefit of AI out of it and neutering it, really.
Well, yes and no, because Microsoft invested 1 billion originally and then 10 billion.
Yeah.
So if your sponsor says, "Hey, you need to turn that off,"
Well,
because
they
it's going
may
to
as well call Bing Benjamin Button then, because they're basically growing this thing into an infant.
right. Yeah, so they're trying to strip out stuff that they want to commercialize.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a fun topic to see if this gets corrected, right? Because if this thing continues to underperform or, God forbid, get dumber, no one's going to be interested in using it. So,
Yep.
good stuff, Peter. This is a fun topic. Let's keep an eye on this. And for everybody who's been with us, thanks for watching. Be sure to leave comments, and we look forward to seeing you for the next episode. Take care.